If you're looking for an efficient and an effective formula for building muscle over 40 in as little as 3 to 4 workouts per week, this video is going to tell you everything you need to know. If you feel like you've plateaued with seeing better muscle definition, even when you regularly train, or maybe worse, you feel like your body is getting softer as you age and it doesn't respond the way you used to, even though you haven't changed anything with your workouts, I promise that if you do the simple, actionable steps I'm about to list out, you will see better muscle definition in a matter of weeks, not months. My name is Molly Van Marth. I'm a physique and health consultant for business owners and executives. So if that's you, here's what we're gonna cover today. First, we're gonna talk about workout style. So what type of training you should be focused on if your primary goal is building muscle, and also what types of workouts are not worth your time. Next, we're gonna talk about workout structure or organization. So once you're doing the right types of workouts, how do you organize them efficiently so that you don't have to spend every waking moment in the gym? Also, we're gonna talk about how to train each muscle group properly so that you have a nice shape or physique. Lastly, we're gonna talk about navigating lifestyle challenges, because you can have the perfect workout plan, but if you can't get to it because of your schedule and being short on time, or you're dealing with inconsistency because you travel a lot, it's useless. So we're gonna cover how to overcome each of those roadblocks. Real quick, before I jump in, do hit the subscribe button because it helps the channel grow, and that way I can make more videos like this to help you refine your physique and look better than 99% of the population. With that said, here is the exact formula to follow for building muscle over 40. Now, if you think back to your 20s and 30s, you were probably automatically in great shape just because you were young and you played a sport. Maybe you could even eat the wrong things and sporadically lift, but still be fit. Fast forward to now, if you're over 40, you probably have more responsibilities, more stress, less optimal hormones, and less free time, so it becomes less common to see people who are in shape over 40, and extremely rare to see people who are in excellent shape. That's because not all workouts produce muscle. Same concept with running a business, right? Just because you're showing up to work 7 days a week doesn't guarantee you'll be successful. You have to be doing the right kind of work over time. So here is the right kind of work when it comes to building muscle over 40. The first thing you need to focus on is the right type of training. Your muscles need the right stimulus to grow, which means you need to be doing resistance training. For muscles to grow, we actually have to tear them down on a microscopic level. And then, assuming you're eating the right type of nutrition to support muscle growth, your body will repair the tears and build your muscles back up bigger and stronger than they were before. And that's the process of building muscle in a nutshell. Knowing this, could you tear down muscle fibers eventually by doing a million push-ups or a bunch of body weight squats? I guess. But the most efficient way to do it, and if you're someone who has a career and a life outside of the gym, the most efficient way to do it is by lifting heavy things. In other words, weights. So what's key here is you don't have to have fancy equipment to get the job done. So if you're working out at home and you're wondering what a good setup would be, you could have something as simple as just an adjustable bench and an adjustable set of dumbbells. A step up from this would be adding a rack and having a set of dumbbells and barbells. And then if you love tech, a great piece of equipment that's just recently entered the at-home fitness scene is called the tonal. Honestly, I hope more equipment like this becomes popular soon because it's great. It would be an amazing investment if you're working out at home and you don't have a lot of space or you just like nice equipment. What's key is just making sure your weights are heavy enough to be challenging in the 8 to 12 rep range, since that's optimal for increasing muscle size. If you have access to a full gym with free weights, cables, and machines, that's great. You just need to remember it doesn't have to be complex. In the middle of COVID, I actually created a great transformation with one of my clients just using a set of barbells and plates that he had at home. So again, it can be very simple and basic as long as you have the right workout structure in place, which we'll cover next. Now, on the topic of the right types of workouts, the biggest mistake I see people make is by focusing too much on general cardio or HIIT training or circuit workouts or even body weight workouts. And it's not that these are bad or harmful, it's just that they're taking time away from resistance training, which is the most effective type of workout for you to be focusing on if your primary goal is building muscle. Next is workout structure and organization. So now that we have the right style of training established, you need to make sure you're organizing your workouts in the right way. We're talking about having an intelligent structure in place here. Without the right structure, you could be lifting weights in the gym 7 days a week, doing David Goggins workouts, but walking around in a dad bod, making people wonder if you work out at all, okay? You could even be sporadically hitting PRs, but still look sloppy. To have well-developed muscles and grow them bigger than they are now, you have to have the right structure in your workouts. So first of all, we need periodization. This is really just referring to dividing your workouts up into different phases. What we're talking about here is the macro structure of your workouts. Now, what's not effective in this way, and will keep you treading water at suboptimal shape, is doing random workouts every time you show up to the gym, or doing the same workouts on repeat. Now, if you stop and think critically for a second, if you're working out currently with an in-person trainer, I know you may love the relationship. I know you may love not having to think when you show up for your workouts, but often, not always, but often, personal trainers will give you a new workout routine every time you show up to keep you entertained and to give you variety, which is exciting, but it's not productive. Workouts that transform your body are in fact actually very predictable. So it's fine if you want to keep working with your trainer, but they should be administering a workout routine that you can see planned out for the next month or so. Another example of disorganized, random, and therefore not effective workouts would be boot camps, group classes, and fitness studios where it's different every time and not customized to you. Because how can it be if it's made for a group of people? On the other side of the spectrum for mistakes people make in this area is repeat workouts. So if you're someone who's doing your own workout routine that you've made up, that's really common. I see it a lot in that area. So just running through the same workouts every time you hit the gym, doing the same exercises, eventually your muscles will adapt to the routine you're doing and they'll stop growing because it's no longer a challenge. So we want to switch up your routine at the appropriate times to resensitize your muscles to stimulation and keep them growing. As far as what the correct organization looks like, to keep it really simple, an easy way to organize your workouts would just be to have a weekly recurring routine for about 4 to 5 weeks. If your routine is really challenging, you could have your last week or your peak week be a deload week where you either lift at a much lighter weight or reduce the number of sets you're doing, or you could just take a week off. And then you can switch your routine up with different exercises and or different rep ranges for the next 4 to 5 week block of workouts. Again, it doesn't have to be complex. You just want to make sure you have some kind of organization in place. The second critical factor of organization is called progressive overload. So once you get your weekly recurring routine dialed in, and I'm going to give you guys some examples for a 2 to 5 day a week routine, what it could look like in just a second, but then you need to incorporate calculated progression. And progressive overload is basically just talking about incrementally, and I mean incrementally, it's important to say that, increasing the intensity of your workouts over time, which can be done by adding sets, reps, weight lifted, or time under tension each week. A few notes here. If you are a beginner or you're very deconditioned, you may have faster increases in progression each week. So maybe one week you're benching 60 pounds for 10 reps, and then the next week you can bench 90. But the more advanced you are and the further you get into your training, the more minor your increases in weight will be, and that's okay. You need to always try to add more if you can, but at times you're not going to be able to, and that's okay. And this isn't just important for growing your muscles, but also for avoiding injury, because talk about something that's going to slow you down in terms of reaching your end goal with your physique, it's getting injured. Now at this point, an obvious statement to share would be that both of these critical factors of organization require you to map out your workouts and also track your data. If you're someone who's not willing to do that or hire an expert to do it for you, then getting a top 1% physique is not for you. I suggest that you accept what you look like now and move on. Last critical factor of organization is aesthetic muscle group pairing. And all I'm saying here is really hitting your muscle groups in a balanced way, okay? It's very important for having a nice shape and having a nice physique, but it's also important to avoid injuries because most muscles come in pairs. And if you overtrain one muscle, you may be more likely to pull the other one. Last thing to cover is navigating lifestyle challenges. So maybe when you were younger, you had unlimited free time to spend at the gym, but if you're over 40 and now you have a career and a family, and again, things happening outside of working out, you need an ROI from the time that you do spend in the gym. So what do you do when you have a packed schedule? The most important thing is that you reverse engineer your routine so that you can stay consistent. This means asking yourself, realistically, how many days per week can you make it to the gym? And from there, we know that hitting each muscle group 2 times per week is a great place to start. So here are a few options for muscle group organization. If you only have 2 days to work out per week, you can do 2 full body days. If you have 3 days per week, you can do a full body day, an upper body day, and a lower body day. If you have 4 days to work out per week, and this is my personal favorite, you could do 1 upper body day, a lower body day, and then a second upper body day and a second lower body day. You just want to make sure that you're alternating muscle groups so that you're not hitting the same muscle group back to back. Also, for a 4-day week routine, you could follow a push-pull split. So push day 1, pull day 1, and then push day 2, pull day 2. And then if you're doing a 5-day split, lots of options here. You can follow any of the 4-day splits I mentioned and then add a full body day, or you could hit any weak muscle groups on the 5th day. Or if you have any accent muscle groups that you really want to grow, you could also focus on that on the 5th day. Or you could do 4 days of alternate push-pull upper body days and then throw in a day for legs. And lastly, you could dedicate 1 day to each individual muscle group. Next, travel. How do you overcome the challenge of travel? Well, ultimately, you're going to need a plan that goes with you. So I use an app to design my clients' programs for them, and they're able to track their sets, reps, weight lifted each week. But if you're designing your workouts, you could use something as simple as just using the Notes app on your phone and then inserting a table with your exercises listed for each day and a new column for each week. Remember, you want to use progressive overload and add something where you can each week as time goes on. If you're in a particularly busy season for travel, I would suggest translating your entire routine into a dumbbell-only routine, since most hotel gyms will have some kind of dumbbell set. And in terms of accountability, if you're someone who travels nonstop and you're trying to rely on an in-person trainer for accountability, this is gonna be rough, since every time you go out of town, you're gonna have gaps in support. So I would suggest working with an online coach or consultant instead. That's about all I have, but as a last bonus for you guys, you can look at this cheat sheet to check your work, check out your current routine, and see how effective it is for building muscle. You can go ahead and add 10% for each element you have present in your current routine, and maybe you're doing the math going, Molly, these only add up to 50%, which is correct, because to have effective workouts that build muscle, you also have to have the other 50%, which is nutrition. You cannot build muscle if your body doesn't have the raw materials it needs to build muscle. So I'm gonna link another video for you guys on that topic. Also, if you want me to send you the notes for this training or any other training on my channel, click the link below, fill out your info, and I'll send them your way. Thanks for hanging out. See you guys next time.